Hi guys, Mark here, MMR Trains and More. Hey, thanks for stopping by today. We upload every Wednesday, as you know, here on the channel, so if you haven't subscribed already, won't you consider doing so? So the process I use to get paint on this thing, I don't know, it's probably different than a lot of guys use. I haven't seen anything on YouTube suggesting this, but I'll take a good spraying, I'll call it a rattle can, like a Krylon or some other brand. I kind of stay away from Rust-Oleum. I want something that dries really fast. In the lacquer brand, tested on some plastic or some other piece of resin beforehand, but it seems to make the craft paint stick or give it a little more tooth. Now that coating is on, Krylon or a similar brand coating is on the lacquer, go after it with the craft paint. I use the, as I say, the mix that was suggested in the RMC article. As far as thinning it down a little more, if it would be a little thick to my feeling in the bottle, I'll add a couple drops of the airbrush medium yet, or a couple drops, usually a couple extra drops of the airbrush flow aid to get it slipperier through the airbrush basically. Water I kind of stay away from, believe it or not. As it says in the article, yes, you can use some, but once you add water, you're changing the resolution of that paint. So the airbrush medium doesn't do that. I'm not a scientist and I'm not a lab assistant like the guy who wrote the article, so I can't tell you how or why that happens. But it has something to do with molecules and it's science, and you didn't join or watch this video to learn science, that's for sure. Maybe the handiest tool in the arsenal is a hair dryer, and you can't really make this up. If you would have told me back in 1978 that I'd be using a hair dryer as one of the main parts of the spray booth, man, I looked at the guy telling me that like he was from a different planet. So, but it's true that airbrush lays a nice paint layer down. It levels nicely. That craft paint does level very nicely, and once you hit it with the hair dryer, it will further level and dry nice and hard on the model quickly, and you can really see your results from the evaporation of the Liquitex product. Thin coats, I know of a lot of the guys started out when the stuff first came out from Badger and some other sources. Well, you got to lay it on there heavy and thick, and then let it dry, paint flat. Basically you don't want runs. The paint will lay up on the model and eventually evaporate again, without a hair dryer even. But I have found that not to work well with my craft paint. I'd rather put on a few thinner coats like we did with lacquer than one big heavy coat. I mean, you want to make sure it's wet on the car, but you don't want to go that heavy, because this stuff, I'm still not 100% comfortable using it. You flip the car around a couple different ways and it'll puddle up where lacquer never seemed to do that. So, be careful. It's going to take some practice no matter what. I'll clean the airbrush with Windex, something initially like that. I'll still go over it with, take it apart, take the needle out, clean the nozzle with lacquer thinner afterwards, just to be safe. The color cups are removable on here. I like that. And if I have a big job, when I used to paint O-scale, I could hang a a bottle on the bottom of the brush and go at it, because those big models will use a lot of paint. Pretty straightforward if you follow the article, and like I said, if you don't get your hands on that RMC, there are guys on YouTube that are using similar products or making their own. You know, you ask a guy how he paints and you probably get 5 different answers from 5 different people. All I can do is suggest and show you what I do, and then you can try it and see if it works for you. After 40 years and maybe the last 10 or so with craft paint, I can say that I haven't had really that many mistakes or flops on projects that I had to go back and restrip something. Your results or your mileage may vary. Now, if you would be so kind to subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you down the rails.